knew I was gonna end up crying, and I was trying not to, y'all. Hey girl, hey, it's Shelby. If this is your first time here, welcome. If you're a returning subscriber, welcome back. You know I love you. As always, I am here as I do every Thursday. I'm being halfway consistent, y'all. Mostly consistent. Anyways, I am here. I am the owner of Shelby Christian Stationery. I am also the blogger behind Shelby.com. And today I'm actually coming to do like a little bit different video. I know I always share about my spiritual journey and faith, so usually you see like Bible study videos, Bible study tips videos, things of that nature. And then also, of course, I like to share the business side, so I like to share the behind the scene vlogs of the Christian Stationery Shop. So today I actually wanted to take a minute to share just a recent testimony, honestly. I wrote about it in a blog post, so of course you can always visit the blog as well, but I did want to sit down and talk about it today, just because I had some time for my lunch break, which actually has to do with today's testimony. So today is, just for content point, today's October the 7th. In mid-August, I'm just gonna hop right in, y'all, because I don't have that much time, right? In mid-August, a lot happened for us, and I like alluded to it, but I didn't really, I just wasn't ready to go into it. Obviously, I was just kind of processing everything. But anyways, so mid-August, right after a vacation, I came back to work, was moved to a prior department I was in. Many of you know that I'm in HR, and that's what I do as my day job. But anyway, so they moved me to the department I was in when I first started at the company. Fine, no big deal, right? So I come back from vacation. A few days into vacation, I notice I have this meeting slapped on my calendar. Like literally, I start usually at 8 o'clock, and the meeting was slapped on my calendar for like 8:30. So I'm like, why is this random meeting on my calendar? Anyway, so I hop into the meeting. It's with my boss's boss and my boss, and I'm like, what's going on? This is really weird, right? Like, not often that you have those type of meetings, right? So I hop into the meeting, and they proceed to tell me that I'm basically out of a job, essentially, is really what it came down to. They decided that, and you may not know backstory, right? I've been working remote for the last 3 years, the last year with a company that's based out of Michigan. But they basically proceeded to just let me know that they had decided that the team would need to be based out of Michigan. So either I could relocate to Michigan, or my last day would be the end of August. At a loss for words. I mean, I got off of that call, and it was a Thursday. I'll never forget. And I was just like, what? Like, WTF? Like, quite literally, like, what am I gonna do? Like, I got 2 kids, I got a whole house, a mortgage, to think about, like, what the HE double hockey sticks, like, am I gonna do? Like, OMG. And I remember it was Thursday, because Thursdays my husband is usually off, so he was upstairs. So I'm like, oh, like, now I gotta go tell him that, like, I don't have a job. And I'm just, my mind is like, I'm stuck. I was literally like, I could not think straight. Like, of course, like, you initially panic because you're like, what the heck, Michelle, am I going to do? Like, I knew I wasn't moving to Michigan. I was like, that's just out of the question. Like, I live in Atlanta. Why would I move to Michigan? There's way more job opportunities in Atlanta than there is in Michigan. So why would I do that? Like, that wouldn't even make sense, right? So that was my first thing. Like, I ain't moving to no Michigan. But anyways, so I'm just in there like, what the heck am I shy? Like, what am I gonna do? Like, I have not planned for this, right? In addition to that, backstory, I had, like, there had already been some rubs and just things not really going ideally in my position. I I've been working in staffing since I returned back to work for the last 3 years. And staffing, if you know anything about staffing, it's just crazy. It's busy. Things are always changing. And I like the fast pacedness of it all. It helped me to learn a ton. So I will always be like, hey, if you're going to start somewhere, that's where you start. Like you're going to learn. So it was just becoming a lot. Having 2 kids and having to juggle after hour phone calls and after hour terminations, and it was just becoming a lot, and it wasn't really what I envisioned when I was looking for an opportunity to like really focus in on HR. So I had already been saying, you know, like, Lord, is this where I'm supposed to be? Like, I don't want to just be doing stuff just to do it. Like, I really want to make sure I'm listening to you, make sure I'm moving when you say move, make sure I'm not making it about me, but like that I'm making it about you and focused on your plan. So do I need to be moving? Like, do I need to be looking at another job right now, Lord? And so when it happened, I was like, well, I guess you got your answer, right? And that's literally how I felt. I was like, well, there goes your answer. God was like, boom, yeah, get out. You need to go. Like, you need to go do something else. A year is good. Like, that's plenty. You're good to go. But yeah, so it was kind of funny in hindsight now, because it was like I had already been praying about it and asking God to reveal to me like if I needed to start to look somewhere else, like if I needed to move on, if it was that time. So in hindsight, that was funny. In the moment, it was not funny. I was extremely aggravated, and really not even aggravated, like angry. I was angry and upset because there were so many points before the point where they told me where I felt like that was the direction they were going in. And I actually asked my manager at the time, like, is this something that I need to be concerned about? Because I'm direct, y'all. Like, you may not know that, but I'm super direct. Like, and I have to watch myself because I know it can come off kind of harsh, but like, I'm originally from California, and that's just it's not gonna stop. Like, I can't help it, right? So I very directly asked her months before this happened, like, is that something that is going to be happening? Like, do I need to be looking? And she was like, no, like, you're good. You're doing everything that we expect of you. Like, we're not concerned about that. And like, you're good to go. You don't need to worry about finding another position. So I don't have a high tolerance for feeling like I'm being BS'd or lied to or sugarcoated. Like, it's not my thing. I don't do well with that. Like, so I was angry. Like, literally, I was so angry. I was angry with myself. I was angry because I felt like they could have told me way before, because I literally was getting basically 2 weeks notice of like, you need to find a job because you're about to be out of one. So I was just like, okay, well, I guess at least you gave me 2 weeks, but at the end of the day, like, I feel like you been knew this, so you could have told me months ago. But it is what it is. It happened, right? It is what it is. But I'm backtracking to just let you know how I was really feeling in that moment after just being dazed and confused and WTF, like, what am I gonna do? Like, literally, what am I gonna do? I have no words. After having those moments and then having to go stroll myself upstairs to tell my husband, because that's literally what I did after I got out the meeting, I was just like, okay, well, you don't have time to sit here and feel bad for yourself. You don't have time to sit here and be angry. Like, you have to do something. You got to figure it out. So after I talked to my husband, I think the next thing I did was I checked LinkedIn, and I might have even checked it before I went upstairs to tell him. I don't remember, but it's just funny, and I have to say it because you'll understand more in a minute. So I checked LinkedIn after the news, like literally within an hour of the news, because I'm not working. Like, my brain is not on work anymore. Like, I don't care about work right now. I gotta find a job. So I checked LinkedIn, and I had a message. I had a message from a recruiter in my LinkedIn inbox. And so I read it. It was about a position, same title, with a extremely large company. And I was like, okay, well, at least you are starting somewhere, right? Like, at least, okay, I got something. Well, let me respond. So I responded to the recruiter and we set up a time to talk. I think we like talked the next day, maybe. We spoke that same week, so I think we probably spoke on like that Friday because everything happened on Thursday. I say all that to say, God is so good, y'all. That recruiter that I talked to and had the message for when I found out that news, that recruiter got me the job that I'm in right now. And it's one of those jobs, I'm really careful about saying dream jobs because I thought my old job was a dream job, but it was a dream position, let's be clear. Anyways, it's one of those jobs that like I always was applying for, but I never thought I would get because the company's so big. I mean, they have like 50,000 employees. So they have 50,000 employees. So it's just one of those jobs where I've always, you know how you have those companies where you know their name, so you're always like, whenever you're on a job search, you're like, oh, I'm gonna apply there because I know they are, you know, they got a lot of employees kind of thing. And so it's a huge company, a great opportunity with a super seasoned team. I mean, everybody in my department has 15 plus years of experience, which is like I have not worked with anybody with that much experience as long as I've been in like an HR focused role. Now, I mean, obviously in staffing, I worked with people who had a lot of experience because the owner owned the company, but it wasn't an HR focused role. It was a recruiting focused role. So this is a lot different for me. But anyways, it's been such a blessing. Like the whole change has been a blessing. Has it been seamless? Heck no. Going from working fully remote to working hybrid has been a huge change for literally everybody in my entire family. The kids, my husband, like my mother-in-law, because she's had to step in and help because I was the one who was picking the kids up from school every day because I was working from home. So I was the closest to childcare and I got off at 4 o'clock. I mean, and that was my later time. At one point I was getting off at 3:30 every day. But anyways, so it's been a huge change from our entire family. But at the end of the day, I know that this is going to be, I know that this is a blessing for us. Regardless of what happens in this position, in this company, like this is a blessing for us just for the simple fact that we've been able to seamlessly continue to provide for our family. And that's something that I don't take for granted. And I kind of knew when I seen that message that like that was going to be the job, if that makes sense, that I went into, just because I believe in God's divine timing. And I was like, there's nothing that happens on accident. I had the most interviews I have ever had in my entire life during a job search while I was looking for this job. I talked to more recruiters than I can count. I can't even tell you all the companies I interviewed with when I was looking for that job, because it was insane. And most of them, honestly, y'all, I never applied to. I never applied to half the jobs that I talked to recruiters about. And I have never, ever had that type of experience when looking for a job. And so when I tell you, I literally got to a point where I was stressed out by scheduling all the interviews. But that's not even what I was really going to say. I literally got to a point with having so many interviews and having so many people call me and just be nice and tell me how, you know, experienced I am and all this stuff. And I'm about to cry. I'm sorry. I literally got to a point in the job search to where I just felt like I am not worthy of these blessings. And I'm not trying to be dramatic, y'all. I'm sorry. But I just think I had that moment of just seeing like how God's favor was on my life. And you don't always get that when you're kind of in a routine. And I kind of feel like that shakeup was just to show me like you are doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing. You are focused on what you're supposed to be focusing on. And before that, daughter, I got you. And like I said, it's surreal even now. Not just the position that I have, like with the company that I have it with, but just how God just showed up for me in the amount of people who, who reached out to me and was like, tell me if you're interested in anything, I'll put in a word for you. Just the amount of people who showed up for me. And I was just like, that's absolutely nothing but God. And I say this to say, there were so many moments where I just felt like, oh, I'm so not worthy of this favor, because I know that there are people out there who look for jobs for months and maybe still don't have a job. And so I really struggled to just, I mean, obviously I said thank you. I was so grateful to God for all of it, right? But I struggled to really believe that, like, I was worthy of that favor. And it's just a blessing. It's just a blessing. And it's just that kind of reassurance of, like, you know what? Like, God got me. I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. Like I said, in some older videos, like years ago videos. All right. Sorry, y'all. I'm trying to gather myself. But like I said in some years ago video, one of the things that brought me back to God in the first place and made me really humble myself before Him and focus on Him and try to build a relationship with Him was when everything fell apart in my career, because it had become a false idol for me, and I had basically just put all my weight and all my energy, and I thought that was literally supposed to be your everything, you know, like what you do with your job and what you do in your career, like that's supposed to be your everything. That's your priority. That's what you put above everything. And when God took all of that away, you could have never told me that I'd be here right now. I was actually part of the reason when I wasn't working and I was just focused on raising Rose and being a stay-at-home wife. Part of the reason why I was so scared to return to work is because I thought I was going to go back to that old person who was just so career focused and didn't recognize that literally my confidence, my worth, my strength, my courage, all of that I get that from God and the Holy Spirit and Jesus Christ. None of that is from me or anything that I do. Like, He deserves all the glory. Everything that I have, He deserves the glory for. Everything good in my life is because of Him, and anything negative is just my own foolishness and flesh, quite literally. And so one of the reasons I was really scared about going back into work when I was getting ready to go back into work a few years back was because I thought I was going to go back to the old me. But I think I was able to kind of have that. I think I was finally able to say, like, confidently, I will never go back to that person again. You know, I will never be so wrapped up in a career or a job or just my own goals, even with my business, or just my own goals, that I forget who is at the helm, who is the most important, who is Almighty, who is God Almighty in all His majesty and all of His just graciousness and mercy and love. Like, I won't lose sight of that again. Like, I'd be lost without Him. I don't even know what I would do with myself without Him. But I literally just wanted to get on here for a few minutes, and I feel like this has been a longer video than I expected it to be, and I knew I was going to end up crying, and I was trying not to, y'all. But I just really wanted to get on here to say that I don't know how to say this. I wanted to share my testimony today because I wanted to make sure that I take this as an opportunity to say that I'm not special. The gift of favor, the gift of blessings, the gift of being worthy, that's for each and every one of us, y'all. And all you have to do is give your life to Jesus Christ and pronounce Him as your Savior, and you can have that same gift. You can have that same favor over your life. But I'm not gonna get preachy on y'all today. I had so many Bible verses in my head, but I'm not gonna go there. Thank y'all so much for watching. Until next time, y'all, as always, be blessed and stay safe. Bye.